Hey everybody, it's Nerdy here, and I am back after a very long hiatus. Uh, I wanted to kind of let you know what this whole thing is going to be about now. I wanted to try out something for a while now, and this is going to be my first take at it. It's going to be called The First 30. It's where I take a look at the first 30 minutes of a game and then give my opinion on it, whether or not like good parts, bad parts, whether or not it's worth the buy, even if it's worth just looking into. And if we wanted to continue the series, I will, make more videos of the first 30. Or if you want to see me continue a particular game, then I'll try and do that as well. But I think this first one is going to be very interesting. I'm excited to try it, and I want to start with a game that I already know that I like, but I want to give some critique with, and that is Mass Effect. I want to play the first 30 minutes of Mass Effect, and show you guys what my thought process is, and what I think of the game, and why I like it, why I dislike some of the aspects of the game. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in so far, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright, so here is Mass Effect. I'm not going to count the initial cutscenes and the opening credits and stuff like that as part of the 30 minutes, but we're going to, make the character so.
Establishing secure connection. Secure connection confirmed.
We're just going to jump in there with a default John Shepard. I don't want to take the time to make a character because that's just going to take too long.
Please log in to access your profile reconstruction.
Yeah,
complete.
sure. So we're gonna start timing from the end of the first cutscene. So when I first gain control of the character is when we're gonna start the first 30 minutes. That way I can give the game a fair shot. So because most of these games will have long cutscenes in the beginning.
Confirmed.
We're gonna set it all on the normal settings so that the average player will get a good feel for it. Target assist low, yeah. So whatever the defaults are, is what we're gonna use. So Mass Effect, I think it came out like 2007 or something like that.
Well, what about Shepard?
Let me double check that.
But no record of his family.
Doesn't have one. He was raised on the streets. Learned to look out for himself.
Yeah, 2007. I was right.
He saw his whole on the cruise.
That was 13 years ago.
Emotional scars.
Every soldier has scars. Shepard's a survivor.
Is that the kind of person we want protecting the galaxy?
That's the only kind of person who can protect the galaxy.
I'll make the call.
Alright. In the year 2148, explorers on Mars discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization. In the decades that followed, these mysterious artifacts revealed startling new technologies, enabling travel to the furthest stars. The basis for this incredible technology was the force that controlled the very fabric of space and time. They called it the greatest discovery in human history. The civilizations of the galaxy call it Mass Effect. I read that way too fast. I don't even know if that was intelligible, but hopefully it was. Yeah, so this doesn't count as part of the first 30. This is all just opening cutscene stuff.
Prime relays in range. Initiating transmission sequence.
Commander.
We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot, acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit. Board is green. Approach run has begun. Hitting the relay in 3, 2, 1.
If you can't tell, I played this game. quite a bit.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1500K.
1500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment. So you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead, so that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
Alright, so here's when I first gained control of Shepard, is when the dialogue pops up. This is when I'm going to consider it to be officially started. So, I'm about 4.5 minutes into this right now. So, in about 35 minutes is when I'm going to stop playing, cut everything short, and then give my 2 cents on the game. Let's see. If so, in this game, you have three different choices. There's the neutral road, which is kind of just between the good and bad. There's the Paragon road, which is the good side. Like you're very nice about things. There's the renegade route, which is mean and angry. They don't really have too much of an effect, I already know, on the game. They open up different dialogue that pops up, but eventually the end result is roughly the same. So first off, that's already something I don't like about the game, is that there's no real choice in text. It just changes the way that characters interact with you for that short period of time. So
you always expect the worst.
Well, bad feelings are an occupational hazard. But we don't go anywhere unless there's a good reason, so what are we doing here?
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant. Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debriefing.
You get that, Commander?
I'm on my way.
Is it me or does the Captain always sound a little pissed off?
Only when he's talking to you, Joker.
Alright, so aside from graphics and like motion blur and whatnot, because I personally don't like motion blur in any game. I think motion blur is really annoying to look at.
We're getting dragged right along with
this is a good place to get your characters started, where there's no intensity, obviously. A lot of other games jump you straight into like a gunfight. This one doesn't, and I like that because it gives you time to explore the mechanics of like movement and interactions with characters, so you can talk to other NPCs and get a feel for how the game's gonna be played.
Looks like we had a smooth run. You heading down to see the Captain?
I heard you arguing.
Sounds like you don't trust our Turian guest.
Sorry, Commander. Just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
So yeah, so when a option like this comes on, you can only give overly positive or overly negative answers. There's no middle road between. You can ask further questions on the left side, but the right side will always give you a definitive answer, which is kind of nice once you learn about like which dialogue options are which. The more you play the game, the more you'll understand the context clues of like what ones are questions, like to expand the dialogue further, or which ones are to end the dialogue right away. And for the most part, the descriptions of those lines are relatively simple.
Info's on a need-to-know basis, Presley. Just follow the orders you're given.
Understood, Commander.
Like you know,
I grew up on Eden Prime, Doc. It's not the kind of
being rude about that. Like it didn't affect the way the character reacted to me. That's what I was saying before. It doesn't feel. It feels like he should react a little bit differently.
Spectres don't answer to anyone. They can do whatever they want. Kill anyone who gets in their way.
Oh, you watch too many spy vids, Jenkins.
That's something I do like about this game, is the idle chatter between two characters. If you just like sit and overhear them, eventually they'll like they'll just say something interesting. I don't know. I find it cool. Let's talk to Jenkins.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
So this is another way that they are teaching you how to do stuff. This is a siding choice. So I can either side with Dr. Chakwas or I can side with Jenkins on their disagreement, or You know, I could take the middle route and be kind of neutral. So it's not always good and bad. It's just sometimes just taking a side, and that's kind of cool. But like I said, it doesn't really affect the game. It just affects certain character interactions for a short period of time.
Only a fool goes looking for a fight, Corporal.
Sorry, Commander, but this waiting's killing me. I've never been on a mission like this before, not one with a Spectre on board.
Do your job, follow my orders, and there won't be any problems.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself on a cruise. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
You're young, Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you. Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, sir. I'm not gonna screw this up.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye.
I'm not gonna try and get myself too dug into the dialogue because most of the game is dialogue, but a good portion of it is also fighting and
Commander Shepard,
being out in the field.
I was hoping you'd get here first. It'll give us a chance to talk.
What about?
I'm interested in this world we're going to, Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
They say it's a paradise.
Yes, a paradise. Serene, tranquil, safe. Eden Prime has become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can not only establish colonies across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it really?
If you've got something to say, just say it.
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the Commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
Is someone gonna fill me in, Captain?
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
There must be a reason you didn't tell me about this, sir.
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation.
I want to say something about that really quick.
Prothean.
So, that interaction right there, no matter whether or not you took the top option or the bottom option, it was always going to be the same answer. I played this game enough to know that both of those are the exact same answer no matter what. He'll always say that information's on a need-to-know basis, no matter whether you say like you should have told me or I like there must have been a reason. So that's what I mean about the illusion of choice that this game gives you. It's one of the things that plagued the game. It doesn't affect story-wise, but it affects the way that people view the game because you lose the option of choice once you realize that goes on.
What else can you tell me?
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
It never hurts to have a few extra hands on board.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander. He's here to evaluate you.
What's going on, Captain?
The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
Not many could have survived what you went through on Akuz. You showed a remarkable will to live, a particularly useful talent. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it onto the ship ASAP. Nihilus will accompany you to observe the mission.
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting close to Eden.
Captain, we got a problem.
Like I said, I'm not trying to
What's wrong, Joker?
delve too
Transmission
far
from
into
Eden
the
Prime, sir. You better see
dialogue.
Bring it up on screen.
Get down!
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't get evac. They came out of nowhere. We need.
cuts out after that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5. Status report.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker, fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
Alright, so...
Engaging stealth systems.
With that, it actually sets up a really good
somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
For the player.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihilus, you coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihilus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
Ready and able, sir.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck!
We are approaching drop point 2.
Alright, so with that cutscene of that video that was played from Eden Prime, actually shows a really good common enemy that the player can react to. And they also allow you to test out your weapons on these things. But yeah, so that giant thing that was in the sky, a little like hand looking thing, that sets up a really good common enemy that the player has a threat from. It's obvious that it's a threat, and you know, it sets up a good enemy right off the bat, which is good. I mean, that's good to motivate the player into moving faster, even though it actually has no bearing on the game whatsoever. In this initial part, it doesn't directly affect anything. It has the sense of affecting stuff, which is really good for starting up a new game. It gives the first mission more intensity. And then someone dies instantly, which I think is really stupid. I think that's so dumb that they killed Jenkins off. I understand, like, you know the guy for like, you're supposed to know the guy for a while, but you talk to him for maybe 15 seconds in the ship, and then he dies. It's really fucking sloppy, honestly, in my opinion. I don't like that. I don't like killing off characters just because. And then you can do some really fucked up shit. You can be like, forget about him, he's dead, leave him alone. Or you can be like, he deserves a proper burial, or we can't help him now. Which, you know, this will obviously change the way your character talks.
We'll see that he receives a proper service once the mission is complete. But I need you to stay focused.
Aye, aye, sir.
So like I said, I think it's really fucked that they just kill him off right away. They don't even give him a chance. You're gonna see why in a minute, why they kill him off, but it's so stupid. One thing I do not like about this game is that there's no direct button tutorials. So like you wouldn't know that
I'll try to catch up with you at the dig site.
Just running up against here would give you a cover. You would just find that out on your own. You wouldn't know that holding space, you would just be spamming buttons with a pull-up menu, allow you to change weapons for your teammates and you. And it'll also allow you to use abilities and quick slot them. You wouldn't know that because they don't tell you anything. Shift is a good way, is sprinting. They don't tell you a lot of this stuff, and I think it's really bad game design. Obviously it was 2007, so maybe they didn't really think about it too much. But still, like, most games would have some sort of tutorial that would tell you basic controls in order to use right off the bat. I know we're like, what, 10 minutes into the game so far, and we haven't really gotten too much combat, but knowing that your teammate has abilities like sabotage and throw it's just good to know offhand, even if you're not going to use it right away. And this is why they kill off Jenkins right away, by the way, is so that she can be on your team. Her name's Ashley. That's also a very good way for them to show you who the enemy is. They give you a reason to not like them, to shoot them. You can see that they are just killing colonists right off the bat. So, it sets up a good motivation for an enemy. Other than that, they're shooting at you.
Thanks for your help, Commander. Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, sir?
Are you wounded, Williams?
A few scrapes and burns, nothing serious. The others weren't so lucky. Oh man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Any idea what kind of enemy we're facing?
I think they're Geth.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
This is another illusion of choice. You can stay here or join us. Either way, she's gonna join your party. It doesn't matter.
We could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, sir. It's time for payback.
Move out.
You're gonna run into a lot of those illusion of choices extremely early on. This is another good thing that they do. They give you time to like look over what these are, so they can tell you that it's an assault rifle. Banshee 3. Banshee is the rifle that it is. The 3 is the tier that it's at. This doesn't matter. This is just who produced it. And you don't understand what Omni Gel is, so you will automatically just take it. They don't tell you what Omni Gel is. But Omni Gel is used to for like lockpicking and stuff like that, and decrypting. So, but what I do like that they do is give you the option to explore the menu and the background for stuff in the codex. So they give you the player tutorials here, but you'd have to actively search for that. You wouldn't understand that there's a tutorial section inside the game. This may have been easier for them to put into the game, but it would be easier. It's easier for the player if there's an on-screen pop-up telling you that there's different things that you can do, like armor and shields. That's on like a need-to-know basis. Decryption, electronics, all that stuff would be needed to know as the game progresses. But basic combat should be told to you right off the bat, and shouldn't be found in a menu. That's something that I really did not like in this, that they fixed in the next 3 games. So they go through the entire thing of what combat buttons do what, and it's really in depth and it's really good. But it's the reading that's the problem. People don't like reading; they like learning as they do it. And they give you the the history. You have your own personal history. This changes depending on what you chose for your character creation. If you created your character. This gives you a history timeline, and this goes from every single major event up until right now, and then it tells you about weapons and whatnot. And then it's very weird that they have all this stuff, but it's super in depth, and there's voiceover.
Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel.
So, like I said, it's cool, but it's too much for a casual player. Obviously, you can just ignore it and whatever. But most casual players also get annoyed with constant flashing on their menus. And they'll go through and get rid of it, but they won't read any of it. I always level up my weapons first. And so Charm and Intimidate aren't seen as important yet, but these are actually the 2 of the most important things you'll ever level up, because these can get you out of combat situations by ending combat early. And they don't say that. Obviously, they don't want to tell you that. I get that, because, you know, they don't want you to just breeze through the game by just talking a bunch. They want you to learn what's best by playing. So, you can also level up your squad as well with their own talent points. So you can level up as you need, or you can just auto level them up, and the game will pick whatever is best. So, although the scenery is rather beautiful, even for like today's standards, like this is very beautiful, very serene. And it's good that they start you out with the soldier class if you just do a quick start, because the soldier class is the one that most people will understand how to use. It's less technical than all the other classes. It's literally just firearms with like concussion grenade, impact grenades, and stuff like that. So
this is the dig site. The
it's
beacon
very
was right
common
here. It must
for
have been
people
moved.
to play the soldier type.
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
Let's get moving. Williams, where's the camp?
It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
So I can already see that I'm at going on 25 minutes here. 20 minutes. I'm gonna finish out the first mission. Once we leave Eden Prime is when I'm gonna stop it, because that's gonna give this a fair try. Which we're coming up to.
Looks like they hit the camp hard.
The thing about this game is that I'm skipping through a lot of it, but there's also a lot of exploration that needs to be done in order for it to get to its full potential. Like here, I'm just gonna completely skip an entire thing that you can do, simply for time's sake.
What did the Geth do to them?
So this is also a good way for them to show that Geth are enemies. So we saw them put people up on spikes, and then they turn into these things, husks. Yeah, so right over there, you can actually see that there's a decryption I can do. I'm just going to avoid it for the sake of time. And the HUD is super easy to read. I like that. That's very minimal. It doesn't affect your vision very much, unlike other games where it's kind of just everywhere around the corner of the screen. It's really only in the top left and the bottom left, I think, and then the bottom right for the mini map. One look at this dude, and you can just tell.
This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
So right there, you can tell that they knew each other.
Off in the distance.
Obviously, Nihilus got betrayed by Saren, who we don't know who that is yet. So yeah, that's the enemy thing I was talking about. Oh, guys, I know that was super loud for you. It was super loud for me.
A Turian? You know him?
He's a Spectre. He was with us up the north.
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm one of you! I'm human!
Sneaking up on us like that nearly got you killed.
I am sorry, I was hiding from those creatures. My name's Powell. I saw what happened to that Turian. The other one shot him.
What the hell are you talking about?
There were two Turians here. Your friend and another one he called Saren. I think they knew each other. Your friend seemed to relax. He let his guard down. And Saren killed him. Shot him right in the back. I'm just lucky he didn't see me behind the crates.
Where'd Saren go after he killed Nihilus?
He jumped on the cargo train and headed over to the other platform. Probably going after the beacon. I knew that beacon was trouble. Everything's gone to hell since we found it. First that damn mothership showed up, then the attack. They killed everyone. Everyone. If I hadn't been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
We need to find that beacon before it's too late.
Take the cargo train. That's where the other Turian went. I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
So, I recommend if you guys decide to play this game, which I highly recommend you do. I think no matter what problems there are in this game, this is a good game overall, and it should be at least give it a try. Obviously, that's not gonna be for everyone, and I'm not gonna pretend like it is. But if you don't mind RPG style games, lots of talking, then this is definitely going to be a game that you're going to like. You can't tell I play this game quite a lot. I've gotten rather used to the sniper in this game. The class that I normally play is the infiltrator, which specializes in sniper and pistol. I fucking missed the last one. So something they did with this game is rather than having ammo, your gun overheats, which is... It sounds nice, but it really isn't. Having ammo is actually way more... I don't know. It feels better to have ammo rather than an overheat system. Like, compared to the other games, it feels clunky to have an overheat system. So... But for the time that it was at, it's actually not that bad. It was done pretty well. It's just in comparison to the second and third and fourth game. It's
Set
just
the charges.
it just
Destroy
feels
the
weird.
entire colony. Leave no evidence that we were here.
Demolition charges. The Geth must have planted them.
Hurry! We need to find them all and shut them down.
Alright. So we're just gonna speed right through this shit. Oh yeah, and then the sprinting changes when you're in combat and when you're out of combat, which I get. One of them is like a light jog out of combat, and then in combat it's like a full-on sprint. But I don't know. I don't particularly like the fact that I can get fatigued and then I just have to walk at this pace the entire time. I think if you're fatigued, you should be able to jog it out a little bit. You shouldn't be forced to walk at like normal speed. Because if you're in an actual combat situation, you wouldn't be like that. So yeah, you can also do mid-combat leveling, which is also rather cool. Something you'll quickly find out is that the shotgun is easily the most overpowered weapon in the game. Aside from like snipers at a distance, the shotgun's the best weapon. It is absolutely devastating. It'll tear through most shields in one shot, and if not, they'll do almost all of it. And a good portion of them will also die the moment the shields are ripped through. with more leveling, the shotgun becomes even more deadly. Okay. So we actually did make it in within a decent amount of time. This is the end of the mission. I'm going to let the cutscene play, and then I'll end it off and cut it, and then talk about the game.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is amazing. Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up.
Got mosquito bites on my legs, I'm sorry.
Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
Heroic Shepherd.
Shepherd!
No, don't touch it. It's too dangerous.
We identified the ship that touched down on Eden Prime. The Normandy, a human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the colony.
And the beacon.
One of the humans may have used it.
This human must be eliminated.
Yeah. Overall, personally, I enjoy the Mass Effect series. Mass Effect 1 is probably my least favorite of the 3 games, or of the 3 trilogy games. It's my least favorite of all the 4. One of them being the weapon systems, which is the overheat system instead of using ammo. I don't like that. I really never did. I always thought it was clunky and just bad. 2 is when I learned about the dialogue options, which was halfway through the second game, is when I learned that it made really no difference. It bothered me because I felt like I had a choice, and then it got ripped away from me the moment I figured that out. And that's why I'm honest about whenever I say, like, you can, like, there's ways of talking. The only time that dialogue actually does affect the game is when you go through a renegade or a paragon option, and that would be either in red or blue text. We didn't see any because there's none in the opening scenes. And that's the only time that text would actually affect the game. Different dialogue options typically end in the same result no matter what. Some more negatives. The intro is a little, like, too vague. Obviously, as the game goes on, it narrows it down a little bit, but for the beginning of the game, the first 30 minutes of the game, it's all questions. There's not really a lot of answers. Like what is the Normandy? Like, why are we sent specially on the shakedown run or whatever, or there's mission to Eden Prime? What is the beacon supposed to be? We know it's something called a Prothean beacon, but what is it gonna do? Who is Nihilus? Who's the Spectres? What's the Council? Who are these other aliens? Why is there an alien when there's only been humans that you've seen on that ship aside from Nihilus? Who's Saren? Why did he kill Nihilus? Who are the Geth? What do you mean they haven't been seen outside the Veil? What is the Veil? You know, what are those husks? What kind of technology is that? Why is this Prothean beacon so important? It just brings up too many questions in the player's mind. And not every player would think that deep. They would be like, oh, they probably only have like 2 or 3 questions, like, oh, who's Saren? What is that giant ship thing that was flying through? It looked like a hand. But if you're if you pay attention to more of the details and the dialogue in the game, some of the stuff would be resolved, but not a lot of it. Like what a Spectre is sort of touched on by Anderson, but not fully. It's not fully like talked about. It's really quickly like, oh, they're the right hand of the council. They enforce the intergalactic law, and that's it. So they're basically glorified police officers, is what you can take away from that. But obviously, the giant mothership thing is not going to be answered right away. That's actually, it was only there for a very small amount of time. It raises the question. That question that's actually supposed to be there, so it keeps your curiosity throughout the game. But the who are the Geth? Who's Saren? Why is Saren doing this? Why did he betray Nihilus? Stuff like that. It's so unclear, and it's very random. It feels right off the bat, because you don't see Saren until the moment he betrays Nihilus. Obviously, you can take away that he's the bad guy, but other than that, like you don't see any motivation. You see, the beacon, but you don't know what that is. So you don't know how important that could be in the story. So overall, the storytelling it's shoddy in the beginning. It gets better as the game goes on, and it reveals a lot more details. But in the first 30 minutes, it just raises too many questions. As for the good aspects of the game, the combat's actually not as bad as it may seem. It's just the weapons that are the only bad part. The abilities, the taking cover is interesting. It's really useful. And you definitely feel like you have to take cover throughout the entire game, simply because you can tear through shields so easily. Enemies have the same weapons that you do. There's not really a lot of differentials in the weaponry that you use until later in the game, where you can start just tearing through people more easily. Foot soldiers, people with 2 sets of shields, the little double bars in the next to the names. Those are the level of shield, how many shields they have. It just, in the beginning, it feels like you actually have to take cover. You actually feel a sense of danger. The flashing red on your screen didn't let you know when you're about to die. Obviously, that's just a video game trope. That doesn't really happen. But it still feels like you're in danger when you're in combat. Obviously, like I said, with a shotgun and with a sniper, you can just kind of breeze through combat. But if you decide to use the assault rifle or the pistol, you're going to be in the mid-range area where enemies are more likely to hit you, and you're just as likely to hit them. Whereas the shotgun, it's like 2 shots, they're dead. Or the sniper is 1 shot, they're dead from a distance. But obviously, with the overheating system, you can overheat your gun, you have to switch. But that's why I like the ammo aspect better, because if you run out of ammo for your sniper, you're forced to use other weapons. You're not just sitting there with just an overpowered ass shotgun and a sniper, and that's all you have to use. It definitely creates more diversity for the game by running out of ammo. There's no melee per se. If you get really close to an enemy and you try and fire your weapon, you'll just melee them instead. But I wish that they would have had like a normal melee button. That way you can just kind of use it. It would have been cool to have for some aspects later in the game. It would make for more interesting movement and puzzles. But other than that, I can't really say too much is good about the story in the first 30 minutes. Overall, the game is really good. I like it. I like the story of it. But in the first 30 minutes, just looking at the first 30, the story is rather vague and I wouldn't say shit. It's definitely lackluster in terms of storytelling. They give you a very good background in the opening cutscene. And when you're creating your character, you can actually read the descriptions of what you're picking. I just chose John Shepard, which is the very standard character. He's your common soldier, your survivalist type character. Now, there are other classes you can use, like the Infiltrator or the Sentinel or the Vanguard. And those are all really good classes. Each classes have their own perks, but obviously some of them are stronger than others. Soldier's probably actually the weakest class in terms of raw killing power. But you won't find that out until you play. You can actually... I may be wrong. Maybe I'm just not playing the Soldier right. But I think the first 30 minutes of Mass Effect is overall 6 out of 10. The game itself is about a 7. I wouldn't give it anything higher than a 7, maybe a 7.5. But the first 30 is a 6. The middle part of the game runs about a 6.5, maybe 7. And the ending is probably the only amazing part of the game. For me, it runs like a 9. It's not perfect. Obviously, there are flaws in it, but it's about as close to perfect as they can get now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys have played Mass Effect, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of your first impressions on Mass Effect. And if you have not played it yet, let me know what you guys thought about this. Obviously, I was critiquing it throughout the game, and I would highly recommend just playing the game yourself. The whole series, Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, and Andromeda, are all actually really good games. Easily my favorite game series. Probably my favorite games overall. But yeah, Mass Effect 1 is solid. It's a solid game. It definitely stands alone as it could just be a standalone game. It didn't need a sequel. I'm glad it does have 2 sequels. But it could have easily been a standalone game and been just as fine. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys aren't already. And I will try and do some interaction in the comments to start a dialogue between me and you. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video, whether that be another first 30 or some other random shit I throw together. All right, have a good one. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content and to check out one of those videos to the right. One of them is handpicked by me and the other one is handpicked by YouTube. Make sure to also follow the links in the description to follow my socials, and as well you can get 10% off of my Pyre, which is the supplements that I use to stay hydrated and energized.